We're back in the car, and this time we're talking about you and your mental performance. Hi everyone, Enzo here. Welcome to episode 5 of season 3 of the Race Driver Coach Show, and again we're in the car. I'll say again, I've hardly ever done it. It's been ages. It was season 2. It was probably this time last year when we did the car last time. What you'll notice is I'm in a stiffer car this time, suspension that is, and there's a big sunlight coming out the back. So it might vibrate all over the place if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or on anything else, video basically, so it might be a bit juddery. Okay, back to what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your mental performance today, which is pretty much everything we talk about, because at the end of the day, this thing here inside, not the head, this thing here inside your skull, between your ears, behind your eyes, above your throat, slightly above your nose, that thing there called the brain is very influential on your performance. In fact, it controls every part of your body. It's operating right now. It's causing your senses, your hearing to hear me, your eyesight to see me, the brain to communicate or translate everything that's being said, your heart that's beating, your lungs that are pumping and breathing away without you even asking them. All this stuff is going on subconsciously, automatically. And when it comes to driving a car, to performing at anything, by the way, we have a great tendency as human beings to not trusting that part of our brain to run the show. However, that part of the brain, allowing your subconscious to take over, can do a much better job than you logically thinking about things very often. So if you're driving a car, you're in a position where you're overtaking or you're on a qualifying lap, if you start to think about brake shapes, if you start to logically, consciously think about how to drive, so you got your braking shape in your head or what you need to do, or you think, right, I'm going to attempt to brake 10 meters later at this corner, it's too conscious, it's too logical, you're not allowing yourself to get in the rhythm and in the flow. It's massive. You will do, and you'll know this, when you've done your best ever performance, you can hardly remember how you did it. It just seemed easy. Time seemed to just go past quite slowly or quickly. It's different. It was effortless. You just did it. So when you try and explain to somebody exactly how you did it, you cannot do it without sounding like, I just got in the car and I drove the back end off it. I just drove my heart out. I just nailed it. You sort of summarize it and chunk it down. Even though to perform at that level that you did, to execute like you did, would have took a lot of brain power, would have taken a lot of your knowledge coming all together and all your neurons firing in exactly the right way, and the decisions you make were all perfect for that lap. But you let it happen. You allowed that part of your subconscious or your brain to take over a little bit more, without self-doubt, without worrying about the lap time, without chasing time, without thinking about, oh, that car's pulling away, what's that mean to me? You allowed it to happen. I want you, as a goal, over the next month, 2 months, week, 1 day, to allow that part of you to come out more. To allow you to perform and to get the part of you of self, of where I belong and identity, out of the way. Now one of the best techniques for this, the quickest way for you to do it, is basically Cus D'Amato, which I think you've heard me say before, was the coach. Cus was the coach of Mike Tyson. And what he taught Mike, apart from all the other things, the techniques of how to box and the confidence that he built within Tyson, he also taught him the philosophy of that you are nothing. All that matters is the task in hand. So that's the philosophy. So I want you to just picture this now in normal life. Say if you're a business person going into a boardroom, just about to do a sales presentation. Now, if you do the opposite of that, about that, and you start to focus on self, that means you'll be thinking, this is a performance, I've got to do well. What if I don't do well? What if I lose this chance and I don't make the sell? I'm going to lose my job. People are going to think less of me. And all of a sudden, you've taken that brain that can do it perfectly on its own, and you've created an environment of complete consequence. So it's going to freak out. It's going to have the conscious side of it freaking out and saying, oh my God, what is going to happen? Oh my God, what I should just maybe call in sick. Or you'll stutter, just like I did then. You won't allow yourself to even remember your phone number when you're in that room. You'll stand in your own way just because of all these thoughts that you've just simply created. So when it comes to Cus's way of seeing things, was you are nothing. You don't even exist. You've got no identity. However, all you focus on is what needs to be done, the task in hand. I've got to go in there, communicate to a person who could buy this product, and that's it, done. And if they like it, they'll buy it. If not, they won't. That is basically focused on the task in hand. It's removing all the consequences. It's just what the hell has got to be done. Same for race drivers. If you want to go into the race team and have them treat you like the leader, you don't just go in there and try and get on with everyone and think, oh, I've got to be liked, and what if they don't like me, and things like this. It's more like visit the end goal. The task that's got to be done has got to be at the priority. The very forefront of your mind is completely on what needs to be done today. How do I make this a success? And you stay on that thought process. Not what if I can't do it. Not what if I'm not ready, if I'm not prepared enough. Instead, what's got to be done. You focus on the task. When you go into qualifying, all you're focusing on is one corner at a time. In order for you to build a good lap, you've got to build a series of corners, just like you're on a conveyor belt. The track is like a conveyor belt, and all you're doing is executing one corner at a time. So even if you make a mistake, you haven't got time to think about it because the next corner's coming up. It's like being a robot. It's like being some kind of android, like I've said before, where you are solely on the mission. You are not thinking about or allowing yourself to think about, how do I feel about this? What does this mean? These are kind of questions that take you down the path of underperforming. Overdriving, underperforming, and not being anywhere near your potential. The only questions you should be asking yourself when you're in that car, or when you're doing a board meeting, or when you just got to perform, is what has got to be done. Period. That's it. And every question you ask has to be aligned with that. As soon as you start to feel sorry for yourself, as soon as you start to ask about how do I feel about this and what will people think, you've just lost it. No longer will you be focusing on your performance. Instead, you'll be completely focusing on all the things that are there to distract you. I want you to get good at this. I want you to be the person that is like a robot, where you're just there and you've got the sole mission of what must be done. Because that way, you'll act the right way. You'll ask the right questions to people. You'll find which people can help you the best, and you'll communicate them and make sure, again, if you was in a meeting, instead of talking forever about the weather and how's the missus and how's this going and that going, you'll do that for about a minute, but then you'll get bored. Just say, right, I'm here to do X. I'm here to talk about and get a resolution or an answer for something that's very important for this quest that we're on. Sorry about the sun all the time. And that keeps you on task. Today is going to be a short video on the simple thing of remove sense of self. That's the conscious mind. Remove sense of self and stay purely focused on what needs to be done. And even if that was just the only message I just said then, and the video was only 20 seconds long, that is a life changer. These videos are here to help you change your life and improve your results. This is a big one. Never ignore the fact that whatever you've got going on tomorrow, so right, you wake up in the morning and you go, how can I win today? What's got to be done? What's the end result from today for me to say today was a win? Today I'm ahead. Today I completely kicked my ass of yesterday, the person I was yesterday. What does that need to be What does it need to look like when you get to 11 o'clock at night and you look back on the day and you say, you know what? I did it or I didn't. I completed that mission today or I didn't. What would that look like? That's why you start with a goal. It's a micro goal, but that's why you start with the end in mind and you stay focused on that. As soon as you become a little bit more towards the past, what that person did to you, what happened to you last time, and you dwell on them things, you're out of it. You're out of the zone. This is all about being in the zone. For you to be in the zone, you just need to be laser point focused on the task. Remember that, never forget that, and I'm going to keep reminding you anyway. Have a go tomorrow or today, depending on what time it is. Execute on this. Every time you go to see someone and it's a meeting, think about what you need from that meeting and what they need from that meeting to make it happen, and only focus on that. Be quite short with them, straight to the point, and it can make you look a bit of an arsehole sometimes, but who cares? You get results. Your life is too important to be too fluffy. It's too important to stand in your way. So remove yourself, focus on nothing but the task.